Hello, and welcome back to Money with Mac and G. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the markets, Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion plan that he has out there, as well as some of the items related to vaccinations and some of the beach stocks. So welcome, guys. How you doing today?
Hi.
Hello.
You guys doing pretty good? Is it
Yes.
feeling like the sun's coming out from behind the clouds?
Yes.
Yes,
I'm so
is.
excited because there's so many
spring-
vaccinations and everything. Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, and spring's on its way, so everyone's happy for that.
Right. And then we've got Easter. It's really not far around the corner. And this upcoming week is, do you guys know? By the luck of the Irish.
Oh, St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on overall. And like you guys said, you said the sun's coming out, and I'm feeling it too. And why are you feeling that a little bit?
Because, well, for me at least, it's because there's COVID vaccinations, and like a lot of people that I'm talking to, they're saying like their parents have gotten it. So super
Gotten the
excited.
vaccination.
Yes.
Yeah? All right.
People are overall just like better. Hotels, airlines are opening up. Everything just like getting better, at least.
Absolutely. And it's pretty crazy for me because the average age that I'm seeing in the restaurants is about 65 now. And why do you guys think that would be?
Oh, because everyone's getting their COVID vaccination, so then they're like, yay, let's go do stuff.
Absolutely. That's absolutely what's happening.
Yeah.
So why don't we jump into the markets a little bit? Can you guys tell me what happened this week? And make sure that you give our audience a little bit of understanding of what some of our market indicators are about. So what do you think, Mac? You pick one.
I am going to do Dow. So, as we know, the Dow is the top 30 blue chips or like big companies. So right now, it's doing the best for the entire year. So it's just doing really good.
Isn't that kind of crazy? Because what did we talk about? We usually think that the stocks that are going to be doing the best are which ones do you kind of see the most variability in?
The tech companies, which is NASDAQ.
Right. We normally see that. And we're seeing that year to date for the Dow, we're seeing the year to date is looking pretty strong. And what number is that? We're about up 7%. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So the Dow is doing the best. What are we looking at for the second best? And give us a little explanation, a little color on that, G.
Okay, so the S&P 500 is just 500 companies scattered around, and right now, last week it was up by 2.5%, and from year to date it's about up 5%.
So we got the Dow as being number one, S&P number two, and oh my goodness, what's number three?
NASDAQ.
And what's happening with there? Can you give us a little bit of insight, McKenna, both on the NASDAQ and your Apple stock?
Okay. So,
Taking a big breath, right? You're like, I don't want to talk about this.
Apple. Rip Apple is all I can say. So, Apple. It's not going well, guys. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's not going well. It's not going well.
Yeah.
Apple literally from a year to date has an 8.7, about a 9% decrease.
Exactly.
Which is
That's not good.
not good at all.
Especially when you got the Dow up 7, you've got 5% on the S&P 500, and then the NASDAQ. What's the NASDAQ doing, Mac?
The NASDAQ, from year to date, it's doing a pretty medium amount, I guess. It's about 4%.
Yeah, a little less than 4%,
yeah.
right? 3 and change. And so it's not what we expected because it was a terror. And if you look at some of those numbers, I saw the NASDAQ was up almost 10% at one point, or a little bit over, 9%. And it came tumbling down. So we're thinking maybe there's a correction that's out there. And then we see the Dow actually taking over. What has been the big news? Like, what has really crushed, done really well this year?
So, the Bitcoin.
Not just a Bitcoin.
Not a Bitcoin, the Bitcoin. So, as most of you know from the last episode, it's currency just made out of thin air, and it's like a wallet. So, that has been booming, the whole economy and stocks and stuff. And so right now, it's year to date is up 100%.
It's pushing 100%, and you save it in the wallet like you just talked about. And so Bitcoin's coming out of nowhere, and so the regular markets aren't anywhere to be found. And do you guys want to tell me about the thing I'm really sad about?
So basically, my dad and Kyle, as you probably know from our previous episodes, they are doing day trading right now. And the past, especially 3-4 weeks have been very, very bad. So first, it went down 9%. Then it went down 20%. And then it went down another 20%. That is terrible.
I know.
I mean, kind of good for us because we're kind of winning the bet.
Oh, you're down. We're up.
We're closer to them at least. Okay?
So our day trading is day trading a really non-risky.
It's
very risky.
We don't want to put all our eggs in one basket, but we are still up by about 16%. But you're right, McKenna. Over the last 3 weeks, we have been hammered.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we do want to talk about what's going to be affecting the markets, but that's our overall market update. We had some really good stuff. The day trading got crushed. Apple down 9% year to date. And it shows, what does it show the market? We've talked about this. Markets
up
do what?
and down.
Yes, markets go up and down.
Too, but how the money's moving around and how everything's doing.
Absolutely. But we do know that markets go up and down. And so it's a really big thing. And what's the big news from last week? And can you give me a little bit about what happened this past Thursday?
Okay, so Biden, he's sending out more money to everyone.
Which version is this? Do you remember? Version 3.0.
3.0 of
the stimulus.
Yeah,
the amount of
checks.
stimulus. This is the third time we're doing the stimulus.
And what he's doing now, he signed a plan for $1.9 trillion to get everyone more stimulus checks. So 1,400 each, so 1,400 for each adult and child. And this weekend,
That's a lot bigger than what we've seen before.
Yes.
And is it important for Biden to do something in his first 100 days in the office? Because he sets what we call the tone of what's going to happen, that he can get things done.
Yeah.
And how far into his first 100 days is he? Do you guys remember what that one was?
50th day.
Yep.
50th day. So he's setting the tone. He's 50 days in, $1.9 trillion. And it doesn't only cover the $1,400 payments. Do you guys remember some of the other things that is in that big package of $1.9 trillion? McKenna, let's give us some other things.
Okay, so in that big package, okay, so basically, do you want the inflation?
Yeah, well, no.
Okay.
Well, why don't you start with the first thing that we had listed there, which were the unemployment. What happened with unemployment?
Okay, so basically, people who are unemployed are getting about $300 a week.
They're getting $300 extra
a week.
And so that's part of the $1.9 trillion, right?
Yes.
And it's extended out until September, right? And so they're trying to also get additional money in people's hands through this other thing that we know which is what? The child tax credit?
Oh, yeah.
Right? We've got them all listed out there, so you can cheat a little bit. It's okay. So go ahead and read the next one. What's the other one? Because we want to go over some of the things that he's doing, because this will stimulate the economy and it will stimulate other things happening. So go ahead, Grant.
There's free money for if you have children, you can get tax credit, and that's basically money because you have to pay for food for your children, tax on everything, and so $2,000 to $3,600 for kids is what he's thinking, and it's gonna also help health insurance, school, college, businesses, COVID testing, and helping the low income.
So some of those things that he's really working on. Do you remember some of the items that we talked about? Does he want the schools open, McKenna?
Yes. He does, because that helps the economy in different ways. It also it helps us moving past COVID. But although it can be very risky, you have to put some laws, not laws, but
You got to put some
rules,
procedures in place. And so he wants to get some money into the school's hands, right?
Yes.
Because is it usually more costly now with COVID?
Much more cost, because you have to pay for computers if you're online, or you have to pay for masks. You have to pay probably more for the to the teachers.
Teachers, the
because it's going to be
vaccinations
harder.
for the teachers if they don't have it already. Yeah. You're right. So there's just a lot of money that they're trying to get in their hands. And did the universities shut down too?
Yes.
And so giving them some money to get them restarted too. What could you imagine they would need for the universities?
Yeah, like computers are gonna need like to help like start getting all those supplies back.
Well, for the universities to get them back opening, they probably have to implement some rules in order to keep people safe. Mm-hmm. And they're probably going to have to institute just different things that the universities are going to need some money to kind of get back on their feet,
Yeah.
And so he's helping colleges, schools, any other additional business stuff?
Well, so for the businesses, he's putting money towards helping the businesses.
I think he's doing some loans,
yes.
doing probably some loan forgiveness, because we called that payroll protection plan, the PPP. Do you ever? Yeah, you got to go pee 3 times, right? But the PPP, he's doing that a second time. And so that gets money into their hands to keep going and to protect payroll. And who's on the payroll? The employees, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's moving through there and really trying to get money back into their hands. And he's also doing some COVID testing and helping low income. What's he helping some of the low income people with?
He's helping them with like housing.
The rent, yeah.
Yes, the rent, food, water, just...
I think utilities, right?
Yeah.
So electricity, probably water, some of the other items. So, and the question is, when do you do a stimulus package? When things are good or when things are bad?
When things are bad.
Yeah.
And Grant, do you think things are completely bad?
I mean, they're not completely bad, but they're still not as good.
Right. And what do we see about jobs? Because if people have jobs, they're probably more willing to spend money. So what do we see in the last 5 weeks?
So like, they're buying more stuff and,
I'm talking about just the jobs. What have we seen in the job market?
So like, 5 straight weeks, they've been like improving and they're, starting faster. So more people are getting jobs.
Right.
And it's overall just helping the economy.
And so what do you think's really helping, some of the things that's helping that? Because we need people out and doing things, and some people are getting out and doing things. And I made a joke that the over 60 average right now.
Yeah.
Why are people getting out and doing things?
A lot of it is because they're bored and...
Oh, no. Remember what? Why?
Vaccination.
Come on now.
And since they have the vaccination and they were really bored during like COVID because they couldn't go anywhere.
There you go.
They're starting to go to like everywhere.
I'm free.
I'm free. There was actually an article somebody was telling me about in the New York Times that about a 70-year-old lady who they did her day, and her day was going to get her nails done, her hair done, going to the grocery store, and they thought that was such a big thing because stuff is starting to get back to normal. Mm-hmm. And how many vaccinations are we putting out a day now?
Wasn't it like 6?
2 million a day.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing about 2 million a day, and we need to get to how many a day?
At least 3 million.
Exactly right. We need to get to 3 million a day.
Because like now there's 60,000 new cases every day, and we need to like stop that.
Exactly. So that's in the U.S. And how many people are passing away from COVID still?
1,500 deaths per day, and the herd immunity is 50 to 90% of the population of the U.S.
And so, what is herd immunity? Do you remember what that is, Mac?
A herd immunity is basically like if we're talking about U.S., it's how many people are immune to this virus.
Exactly. And so if you don't have very many people who've had the vaccination and aren't really immune, then that means, can you pass it around easily? If there are very few people that are immune, you can pass it around a lot. If very few people have the vaccination, it just keeps jumping and jumping and jumping.
But if everyone has the vaccination and there's
Then,
like only
yeah.
2 people in the world that could get COVID.
It has nowhere to go.
Exactly.
Right? And so for the herd immunity, I think we were reading, Grant, what was the percentage that you just said?
50 to 90% of the population.
Right. And I think they're thinking it's probably more towards the 75 to 90%. So we really need some help with that. And I know we're getting about 2 million vaccinations. We need to get up to 3 million. But what are some other things that are happening in the economy? Retail sales, Mac. Do you remember what was going on with retail sales?
Retail sales is basically how many like sales are in like grocery stores, like food, shoes, clothes.
Exactly. So it's the regular things that you and me buy every day, right? You can get it on Amazon, you can get it at your store directly or otherwise. But retail sales, are they coming back? How are they doing?
They're doing pretty good.
They're back to pre-COVID levels. Do you remember us talking about that?
Oh yeah.
So pre-COVID levels, which means that before COVID, it's the same amount of spending that's going on. So there's a lot of stuff that is going on. So some people are saying maybe we didn't need to spend the $1.9 trillion from Joe Biden because they got lots of jobs coming back for the last 5 weeks is getting better, and there is a faster ramp up. They're talking about the vaccinations are getting out there. Retail sales are the same before. What about the housing market? Can you explain to us what's important about the housing market?
The housing market shows us basically, in general, like how the economy is doing. It shows us like are people buying houses, are people having enough money to buy those houses, and it also is using up like a lot of our resources, like wood. We have to get like furniture, refrigerator, dryer.
So when you talk about the housing market, Grant, or the housing industry, it affects a lot of different things, right?
Yeah.
And like what McKenna was saying, what are some of those things?
Like
when you build a house, what?
Like you need materials like wood or steel or brick, like also like the stuff that they put between the bricks.
And who constructs the house? A robot?
No, the builder.
The builder does. And so is that a job or is that not a job?
That is a job.
So there are lots of jobs created from building a house.
Yeah.
There are mortgages, like McKenna was just saying, like people being able to afford. Mm-hmm. There are items that are being bought that affect lots and lots of business. So the housing market is really crucial because it affects so many people for jobs, so many businesses for things that are bought. And so it's very important. And what's going on with the housing market? Do you remember? If you don't remember, we did talk about it because we talked about the difference between an explosion, like booming, boom. The housing market
they're building a ton more houses.
They are building a ton of houses.
Much more,
It's not very good for global warming.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Some people still need to eat, though, right? And so the housing market is doing really, really well, and it's really booming. And so people are buying all the different things, roofing, furniture, appliances, and stuff, and that is pushing things very much in the right direction. So we talked about the herd immunity and everything. What about, can you explain what happened with one of the cruise lines that offered a cruise in 2023 and what this cruise was and why this is kind of important? Can you, either one of you guys?
Okay, so there's this cruise company. Wasn't it called Carnival?
Carnival's a different one. I forget which one this one is, but what did it offer?
So they offered tickets for a ride in 2023 or 2020 or
2023.
Late 2022, early 2023, and it was going to be a world round trip, and they filled the bookings in one day. And that's just crazy.
And this round the world, how long is this thing going to last? McKenna, do you remember how long it's going to last and how many ports are they going to be in? How many countries?
So basically, it's going to last 180 days, which is a lot. It's about half of a year.
Yeah.
It goes to 96 ports, 33 countries, and countries can have multiple ports. That's why there's 93.
Absolutely.
96, I mean.
But what does this tell you about what's going on in the economy and what people are thinking?
People think that COVID's going to get better and all the vaccinations are going to get out, and they just want to break, honestly.
Absolutely. Isn't that what you're seeing?
Yes.
And why would people want to get out? We haven't been cramped up for a while, have we?
Yeah, totally not.
Totally not. We've been in complete lockdown, right?
Yes.
And what do we call this? Spring fever, don't we? Go ahead, G.
Spring fever. Dad's example, like he's seeing older people going out because like they want to go do stuff, but they don't want COVID, so they're just like, I'm done with this. I need a vacation.
I need a vacation. I'm going to have my vaccine by 2023. It's going to be done. Can you imagine one day, 180-day round the world trip on a cruise ship? Because we heard some pretty horrific stories, didn't we, about the cruise ships? Do you remember?
Oh,
you guys don't remember? Oh my gosh. That was when one person would get it and the whole ship would just like explode.
Oh, yeah.
And do you remember they were stranded off the coast and they were bringing them food and kind of throwing it on the deck? And then they would
gosh.
not on the deck, I'm exaggerating, but they would offload this food and then they would go back on the boat because nobody wanted to be exposed to COVID. And those were horrendous. So cruise lines opening up and also selling quite a few tickets is a big deal.
Yeah.
Right? So what do you call it? Carnival Cruise Lines. What was going on with Carnival Cruise Lines? Grant, you were starting to talk about that a little bit.
Carnival.
So when you book a cruise, do you book it like tomorrow? You're like, hey, I want to go to cruise. I'm going to go tomorrow. No, you book in advance, right?
Like a reservation for a restaurant.
Exactly.
So basically, Carnival had more bookings in 2022 for the first half of the year than it had in the first half of 2019.
So in it's actually 2021. So this year versus 2019, they have what?
They have more bookings in the first half.
Yeah, so in the first half of this year, and we're only about a quarter of the way through, they're already saying we're going to be kicking butt for our bookings that are out. Go ahead.
Yeah, so a quarter of a year, they had more bookings than the first half of 2019.
Yeah,
so that's crazy.
So there's some crazy stuff happening. They're doing a lot of bookings. They're faster than what they had in 2019. And the overall idea is that things are starting to come back. What about hotels?
Well, hotels, people are estimating it won't rebound / actually start going back to normal until 2024.
Yeah.
But people are seeing some changes, and people are seeing some positive changes that more people are going to hotels, and yeah.
So the hotels, do you remember what year the hotels are supposed to be coming back?
2024.
2024. So you got a lot of stuff. So anything that relates to bookings, like you're booking anything in the future, entertainment, airline, cruise, and hotels, those are the beach stocks, okay? So you're seeing the hotels are going to turn around by 2024. When is some of the action in the airlines coming back, G?
Actually, later this year and early 2022.
Exactly. So can you get in the mindset a little bit? When we're talking about money, we got to get in the mindset of businesses, but then people who buy those things. Why would people wait until 2021 and not do it right now?
Well, because they're, airlines, they're doing better, but they're just not, normal, and they're not as good. They're still bad. And
because we're still trying to get through some of the vaccines, right?
Yes.
So people aren't really 100% comfortable, but they think that the end of the year and the beginning of next year, that things are going to go well.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a survey that you and I were talking about? And the survey about international travel, how many of the travelers think they're going to go international, which means not a car, not just kind of next door. They're going to hop on a plane for a long time. Do you remember, Mac?
And go all the way to Rome.
Go to Rome because you like the Rome, right?
Yes.
How many people, what kind of percentage of individuals?
50%,
half.
Half, yes. So people are getting a confidence and an optimism and seeing the sun come out and getting excited. And I've got to admit, I'm pretty excited too.
I'm so excited.
Big checks that are coming to everybody. We've got money that's coming into the economy. People are getting more optimistic. Things are starting to turn. And that is really, really exciting because what was the worst year on record for the airlines and travel and everything else?
2020.
2020. That's right. And so as we continue to move through this, it's really good to see some positive things that are going on. Do you think people are looking at their lives differently now?
Yes.
What do you think?
Are
they saying, oh, nothing like this ever going to happen again? Or, oh my gosh, we need to take advantage of things now.
Yes, they need to take advantage of things
Yes,
now.
just yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because, I mean, really, when you think about it, there could be any disease at any time. Like,
Right. And
it's so, like,
people want to get out and just start doing things and having fun and seeing their family. There's a lot of people that have been in the long-term healthcare that families haven't seen. And so they're going to start letting people back. And so that's really exciting. So what is something that is really bad news? How many companies have failed over the last year? There was an estimate. It's not really clear, but there are quite a few. Haven't there been, G?
Yeah. So, like businesses.
Yeah.
Like 100,000 businesses failed, and still like only like
We're not really done yet, are
Yeah.
we?
Like,
So
half of the entrepreneurs don't, or well, half the entrepreneurs think that they can make it through the year. The other half are like, there's no way we can make it through.
that was a scary survey. You bring that up, that about a little over half think they can make it for another year, and the other half don't think they can make it that long. And if things get better, that could all change, right?
Yeah.
But it keeps decreasing. So people think their runway, which is the amount of time until that things go bad, continues to lessen. But we're starting to see some good stuff. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So we've looked at the markets. We've talked a little bit about Biden and the 1.9 trillion, the vaccinations, and some of the beach items, because those are some pretty good indicators of things that are to come. So anything else you guys want to talk about before we say goodbye?
Not much. Just stay safe out there. Hope you guys are getting maybe soon some COVID vaccines. Maybe you're not.
Get that herd immunity up, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Herd immunity.
Yes. All right. Well, let's
Happy
go ahead.
Turkey Day.
What?
Why did you say that?
I think she means Happy Leprechaun Day.
Happy Leprechaun Day.
Happy Turkey Day.
That's right. She's just being silly. I love it. So let's go ahead and say goodbye, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.